Hey everybody, welcome.
It's the
We're
new
here,
year.
we're here in 2021 and it hasn't arbitrarily fixed anything, but you know what? We're still on a reeling downward curve and we can make jokes about that, so welcome back.
I don't think we are on the downward curve. I think the curve is still going up.
I think just today our good Mr. Premier Man said that we're at a system breaking point.
Yeah. He said that we're at capacity.
Yeah.
Look, whether the curves are going up or the curves are going down, there are different curves for different reasons, and all of them are behaving dramatically in bad ways. The U.S. Capitol was stormed by a bunch of weird MAGA people, so that was fun. They were just there for a few hours and vandalized shit and left, and didn't achieve anything. And then, like, a few hours later, all the people went back into the Senate and kept doing what they were doing. It was wild.
Like, listen, we're all lib left here. We're not opposed to a good riot, but they really didn't do much.
I have to object to that. We're all lib left. We're not opposed to a riot. The libs do not want riots. The left is like, riot properly and with the right reasons and the right circumstances, blah, 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 blah. I don't think that you can say the libs are on the riot side. The riots are the things that make libs go,
they want the ability to riot.
In my suburb? I support minorities, but this is too far.
This is too far.
How terrible.
So on that note, y'all want to kick into some fucking shit?
Yeah.
Sure. We're really getting the heel right down to some turds, you know?
Some hot turds.
Yeah.
Well, in Bloodcrag and Berrywine, the snow barely dusted the naked trees. Under the bridge and around the bend in West Watch, scarves and capes were back in season. Past the storm in Newtown, coal was on sale alongside firewood. Redwine Keep, where you're currently docked, has vineyards that have shrunk back and the pickers have moved to the fisheries. Nearby, back when you were in White Abbey, devotees were hurriedly preparing for New Year's Mass. But here, the trees have sort of just browned. And where our crews are headed, along a sparsely populated span, winter becomes the rainy season. Only 2 stops yet to go, and this job will have come to an end. But the seas only get worse from here. Welcome to Bloodwine.
There we go.
All right.
Shorter hair all is in that.
Yeah.
I know, right? My hair has changed so much since then.
I know, right?
Mine's super short, and now it's like kind of Bieber-y. Gabe had a beard, which you're growing back out.
I'm trying to grow it back out, yeah.
And Ken's hair has quadrupled in length.
Fashion.
There is one benefit to being bald, and that's that there's constantly conversations like these where you get to throw in a little joke being like, oh, hair, you say.
Yeah. Oh, hair. Yes, I totally lack that.
And then you just kind of grin and smile and look away and check your phone while everyone else talks about shampoo and bullshit.
Speaking
I
of
shouldn't say that. If you're bald, you gotta use like a little bit of shampoo because your head still produces grease. Anyways, this isn't the Bald Guy DIY hour. This is the Bald Guy and Friends the role play game hour.
Bald Guy and Friends.
Why don't we jump into it?
Okay.
So currently it is, well, you tell me. When we last left, it was really, really late at night, basically as late as you go, and you had docked in Bloodwine Keep and done the exchange. There had been like the 2-hour span, you got some stuff done. Would you have left port, laid down anchor just 10, 15 minutes away, and then waited until the morning shift again? Or would you be staying at port for the night and then leaving when the morning shift starts?
If we docked in port, I don't see why we would leave.
Man, yeah, pure entropy and inertia.
Probably
All right. In that case, it is twilight. It's just before dawn. You're all aboard the ship, for the most part. Currently, Sun, you are picking up the mail. In addition to everything else, it's one of those things where you went, we're staying overnight, I'll do it in the morning. And then at like 5 a.m., you went, shit, and ran over to the rookery. This is not anything to do with your job. This is just every now and then, you pick up the mail for the people on the ship so that they find out if like relative die or whatever. And this time around, you get a thick package.
Is it who's it addressed to?
Everybody has some stuff. People do or don't have mail, but everybody has one of these big packages, and you can see like the mail is tucked in with them and tied together in the packaging. But it looks like there's flyers and stuff.
Wait, who
God damn
went to go
it.
get this mail?
Fucking hate when you go check the mail and it's just goddamn flyers.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah, proper bills. Well, all right, I'm heaving it onto my shoulder and heading back to the boat.
All right, so who's going to be up early in the morning?
Not
Aside
me.
from Sun.
Not me. Sleeping in.
Not Crowpool. Not Jaden. All right, so Sun, you get there and you plonk that down on the ship. Bilgy, was Bilgy late night crew? Do you remember?
I only remember that I was late night crew. I do not remember what everyone else was on. I don't think that
I was late night crew.
Yeah. I know that Kenanye wasn't, and Tiana wasn't, so that would leave
Tiana and
Bilgy and
Kenny
Brooke.
share a watch, and they share it with Sun, and that's a 3-person. And I think that Bilgy was with you guys, and then Rooker is kind of always out and about.
Yeah, that sounds accurate.
All right, so it's just you, Tiana, and Kenanye as you're like pushing off to port here. You haven't quite raised the gangplank. You're just getting all the ropes tied. You're getting all the sails unfurled. The last of your orders kind of like told to and fro. And here you got this big thing of mail. You brought it on board. One of them, at least, is addressed to you. There's one for literally everyone on board, which is unusual.
An interview, like ordering anything, like a early Christmas present or something for our birthdays.
Kenanye and Tiana both kind of shrug. Rooker isn't awake yet. You can still hear snoring. They both take theirs, and you can see them like tossing aside this junk, being like, what the... Junk mail isn't a thing? This is the first time this has happened, that you have this weird, colorful garbage advertisement in your mail, and it's like, what the
What the hell's an internet service provider?
So, the first thing you pull out, there's... good question. There's a few of them. One of them seems to be a flyer for like a merc group. One of them is like a book. One of them is some sort of figurine.
A flyer for a figurine?
A flyer for a book.
No, what was this bad book?
All right, so you pull out this thing and you see it, and it goes, super order, 15 more regulations to eliminate fear and unease. There's a big glowing review about how this book saved this person's marriage and children and kept their boat from sinking and brought their life in order and destroyed all peril in their path. You kind of just...
Yeah.
Must have been one hell of a book.
As that happens, you see both Tiana and Kenanye, like, right as you throw that aside, they throw their own bits, like, onto the pile. Do you want to look into their flyers, or do you want to look through your own? They seem to have different ones for you.
Looking through my own here. There's a self-help book. What's the one on the bottom of the stack here?
You yank it out, and it's Snorky. There's 10 collectible Snorky toy art figurines. They're surprise figurines, and they're 1 gold each at your local general store. Buy now.
1 gold for collectible toys?
That's a lot of
God.
gold.
gold? Toy?
Huh.
I
This is a little disturbed.
I'm feeling called out here, Will, because literally for a Christmas present to myself, I bought some fucking collectible Power Rangers figures. I'm feeling really called out here.
And they're like the collectible ones, right?
They're the collectible one.
Well, is there anything actually in these packages, or is it all just junk?
What would you probably have in your mail? In the average mail run?
Average mail run? Probably not much, honestly.
So you take the last thing out. It's a mercenary group called the Ochre Armband Militia. They're hiring people now to defend values from insidious evildoers. It gives you a bunch of recruitment information about how to find your local chapter, and that's the last of your packet. You can see Tiana and Kennedy kind of just toss the rest of their stuff down there.
Do they have any information on what those values are? Or does it just say values?
Values.
Not valuables. Maybe they forgot a bowls.
Okay. Am I up now?
It's going to be a little while, actually. You guys still have to head out and set sail. We ready to go?
Yeah. Let's cut the moors and light some tours.
Sure, okay, we'll sail a ship. Kennedy claps and makes his way over, pulls up a crate, and sits at the steering wheel. You guys are starting to head off. If you want to pull up the map.
Okie dokie.
The map. Wow. Look, it's working.
Yeah.
It's working so well.
Totally working. And I didn't lose this at all during my hard drive crash.
So this is right at the shift of the seasons, and there's a big kind of like airflow, like wind channel thing going on. The wind is going to be the entire time going directly eastbound. So that's always going to be the case. The real question is how much rain is coming with it, because there's just like storm clear, storm clear, storm kind of thing. Currently, there is just kind of clouds.
So it's always east, you said? And east is the direction that we are traveling? Yes?
More or less, yeah.
You're doing it on purpose, Will.
Well, suppose we might as well make hay while the sun shines.
You say on a cloudy day.
The wind.
Also, before the sun has started and the peeking out above the horizon. Really, no, 0 for 2 so far.
He was referring to himself as the sun.
No, the wind is the son of the sea, you see.
So you start making some really strong headway. You have your sails, the Genoa sail out front, and you make it about 4 squares into the open ocean, and then the first of the light rain starts to come in. You end up having to take down that sort of foresail, so you lose that advantage, but everyone involved with you is able to keep moving. That's you, the Armadillo, which is the ship that's following you, and you also have the Bone Marrow and the Spike Shell that are willing to run diversions for you.
Okay.
All right.
So it is the early morning. Right around dawn, I should say. So still not the morning shift, but Rooker is up and about. You can hear him starting to get some breakfast ready. There's a bit of a groan from Bilgy, who goes back to bed. Where are we going next?
I'm assuming we're heading east more.
East.
I don't. Where are we going?
You are heading all the way down the coast to a big island south of the mainland called Soth. And then you have to go to the bottom tip of the mainland to a city called Riverbend.
Now, O-T-H.
S-O-T-H.
Okay, yeah.
Basically, you're going southeast for now. About here, where you're rejoining the sea itself, you can see that although it was really sparse in the morning because nobody's really traveling, the Hookway, which is that big seaway that goes along this route, is starting to fill up again. It's a little sparse also with a number of ships like taking it easy or being hesitant in the rain. You're still able to keep strong though.
We've been through worse. It's fine.
Oh yeah, she can handle it.
You make it a little ways before both of the larger ships have to stop. You make it 2.5 squares. So currently you're able to keep maneuvering, and the other ship, the Bone Marrow, is able to keep moving. Both of your host ships have to let down their sails and stay static for now.
Well, I thought our whole job was to run on ahead of them. Might as well do what we're getting paid for.
All right. The Bone Marrow does the same thing, staying ahead, but lags behind a little so it can turn around to quick intercept the ships. That being said, it gives you enough leeway that you're able to keep line of sight with just the Bone Marrow and not the ships and get a lot more distance. It is the early morning.
So we'd be waking up at this point, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you guys wake up and you hear the smacking of my hand against this clipboard.
Cool. I love it.
Where's that coming from? What?
Are you sticking with the the Hookway, or are you trying to get closer to the coast? Because if you're sticking with the Hookway, you start to go southeasterly rather than just east.
East.
Well, south is to the southeast, right? So it would make sense to follow that, wouldn't it?
All right, we'll go down the Hookway.
Let's do it.
It also means that we're not heading directly into the wind.
So currently, because we're doing part of this on Oh God, the computer broke over the holiday break, it's a good thing we were already taking a break mode. We're switching to F8.
Alright. F8.
A classic.
Look through it in the file manager.
Yeah, just find it there,
You don't need to bring up the fact that I'm looking up stuff in a file manager in order to put it up, alright?
Listen,
It's
some
movie
places,
magic.
some places
You didn't
will
get
pull,
2 squares, by the way.
Okay.
some places will pull back the curtain. On this show, you're lucky if there's the curtain ever sort of gets taken out of its box and half-heartedly hung up with clothespins.
Yeah.
We tried with the curtain, the rods came down in the middle of the stream, it was loud, and it unplugged the mic, okay?
Please don't talk about those early streams where the mic kept coming unplugged and we kept having audio. Please
It's
no.
telling that I said an entirely hypothetical scenario, and then
But
it
we
was
had it.
at one time. Okay, so you guys, by now it's the early morning. You guys, as you're waking up, you hear the shout of all stop. The rain is getting heavy enough that you actually can't keep sailing. So, yeah.
Doing
Jane?
bucket. Taking water out of the boat, I'm guessing.
Balin?
Bailing.
You've just woken up and you see this massive pile of stuff on the...
Reading it.
Would you have normally had any mail?
No. I don't get mail, no.
Alright, so you're looking through. There's no letters or anything in there. You pull out the first one. Actually, you have a really dense one. You have 5 different packets.
Ooh. Wow, okay. What is it? What are they? First packet. Right off the top.
They're folded in a way where you have to kind of take them all out and then they fall over the table. They're all kind of splayed out. The first one that you pick up actually lets loose a little piece of paper. It's a lingerie catalog and there's a little slip of something coming out.
I pull on it.
You pull it out and it's a hiring ad for a brothel in Redwine Keep.
Disgusting. I throw it away.
You toss it on this pile of trash with everything else. You pull out the next one. This one is now hiring Westwatch dockside washerwomen.
Disgusting. I throw it away.
Oh, it's a subscription to eligible landed gentry.
I throw it away.
You throw it away and you see that there was already one on the pile. The last one there that you pick up is an advertisement for a stroller.
Again, disgusting. Throw it away. I'm gonna look through the pile. Is there like anything else that's more interesting?
So you look through, Croquill, you hear all this fuffing and all that stuff. Would you have gotten any mail?
It's very, very unlikely. The only mail that I would expect to get is from, what's her name? The person that we escorted who was trying to get away, but I don't expect any mail from her, and I definitely don't expect any mail from any of my siblings. And other than that, I never would have gotten mail.
You hear the ruffling of a massive pile of paper, and you hear Jane going, ugh, 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 and then fluffing through this stuff.
I'm just gonna go and just be like, what the? Something wrong with paper?
I'm gonna take the brothel ad and start reading it aloud.
Okay. So we got free Tinder. Got it.
It looks, as you're like plucking through these, that there's one for Croquill.
I mean, there's one for you here, Croquill, if you want it.
Well, someone want to read it? Who's
I'll
it
read
from?
it.
Or is it just? Is it just
So,
normal?
Jane, you start taking it apart, and then Son, you go, oh, and you pull some things out of the pile and separate them. It looks like you and Croquill got the exact same ad pack. As you're looking through, basically everyone did, except for Jane, Kenanyi, and Tiana.
I wonder why, Will.
What did Kenanyi get?
Sorry?
What did Kenanyi get?
Looking through it, pre-approved loans, debt relief, and a advertisement for pistols.
Tiana get?
A lot of the same stuff, but in addition to your stuff without like the stroller stuff and like the brothel ad and washerwoman thing, there's the same thing, like the eligible landed gentry subscription. There's an ad for a divorce lawyer, and then there's one for spermicidal lube.
Weirdly specific.
Yeah, I think we need stricter anti-scrying laws in this here nation.
I just the people at White Abbey are just telling Tiana, look, don't reproduce.
Married?
Mm-hmm. To Kenanyi.
Really?
I did not know that.
Oh. You guys going through a divorce? And I like
No,
show the flyer.
Jane, come on now.
Tiana kind of cackles and then points at the, like past the door with the munitions room into the apparatus and goes, if anything, we're opening up to a third. Anyways, and she starts to clamber up. You want to pass me some buckets? Not too much in the bilge, but gotta kill some time.
I didn't know they were married.
Am
I crazy here? Did you guys know?
No, I didn't know that at all.
You know, it does explain why she was always hanging around the shop.
Kenanyi, specifically, you've noticed he always takes like a little ring off and puts it aside, but it's like an iron smith nut, so you never really thought about it. Tiana, in particular, like goes and like pulls out a little chain, and there's a similar one. Yeah, back in the day. I mean, we shared a room. I thought you knew.
I don't see where you go on the ship.
Wait,
and it's
listen,
not exactly like I'm scrying here.
I don't like to pry. I mean,
yeah.
I assumed you two were close.
Kennedy leans in closer to Croquill and he goes, "Come on, you didn't hear us? Any of these times?"
I'm a very sound sleeper.
Oh man, I never looked at the layout of the ship. I didn't know they were sleeping together. Goodness. Not paying attention.
Bilgy cracks and he starts passing buckets up to Tiana and goes, "To be fair, me and Rooker share a room and we don't get up to that nonsense."
That was going to be my next question.
Wall.
That was going to be my next question.
So, what's everybody up to in the early morning period while you're all reined in?
Eating my second plate of cheesecake, screaming, "Take a fucking guess."
Let's roll some dice.
I want to look at that figurine ad again.
It looks like, there's a bunch of them, and they're all like slightly differently arranged, so there's different prominent ones, but there are 10 collectible Snorky figurines.
What do they look like? What does Snorky look like?
Well, give me one Snorky.
Blue Snorky.
Glue Snorky.
Blue is in the color, not blue.
So you pick up one and there's a blue Snorky. You go over to the next one. Ken, do you want to give me a Snorky?
It's Snorky.
Dude.
You pick up Snorky and then peel. Just by pure coincidence, they got stuck together with a bit of water and underneath is glue Snorky. What about you, Gabe? Want to give me a Snorky?
Blasphemous Snorky.
Oh, that blasphemous Snorky. Always
It's
getting up to shenanigans.
Redacted. Alright, so adding to your role, Kennedy is helping with...
I think maybe
21.
blasphemous Snorky
21.
should apply to the brothel.
You're not entirely convinced by the way that the redacteds are splayed that wasn't the intention. What about you, Kroko? What are you getting up to?
I'm trying to help with the bailing, but purely by trying to reduce the amount of water. Like, I'm doing elemental magic to sort of try and control the flow of water, sort of so that it goes around the ship rather than falling right on it. And just trying to reduce it, right? Like,
you want to give me an elemental roll?
Alright. Yeah. That's okay. Starting off strong. 25.
Alright, you just kind of like take your walking stick, you give it a quick twirl, you tap a foot and then go tuk, tuk, and then you go whoop like that, and there's a balloon of kind of like air pocket that starts deflecting the little rain droplets. Tiana seems happier to not be rained on directly as she keeps bailing them out. It's not super fast or anything, just like every few minutes there's a like half bucket that gets taken out.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Instead of, having to do a half bucket every time, it's just every couple of minutes having to do a bucket. It's good.
So by the late morning, the rain has let up a little bit. Your home ships are still going to be stuck, but you're back to being free, and so is the bone marrow.
Well, I guess we're protecting the home ship, though, so we gotta wait for them, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're probably far enough out that we don't, no need to go rushing on ahead.
Alright, another roll. Roll. Not so good from Kennedy this time. So that would be with plus 14.
Ooh.
Anytime we go to the Google Docs screen, it's just blasted with white light.
It changes the entire white balance of the frame.
I know.
Information.
You're being blasted with knowledge, all right? It's fine.
I'm currently at 93%. I thought I was at 80% last time, but I'm actually at 91.
Ooh.
So what's everybody else up to in the meanwhile? Not everybody needs to be bailing. So Jane, you're kind of sitting there going, shit, almost basically out of ship stuff.
these ads, I guess. Like,
See which one makes good kindling. I don't know.
like which one's light on fire the best?
It looks like it's the Ochre Armband Militia. It's a very cheap paper. You wouldn't think of it at first, but son, as you're looking it over, you give it a sniff and go, "Oh, that's a highly flammable paint."
I mean, it makes you wonder who paid for all these. I mean, obviously the Ochre Merch Club, but why? You know?
Get the word out there, I guess, that you need
Yes.
more women at the brothel. Oh,
Buy more Snorkies.
buy more
I want to
Snorkies.
snort. I mean, I get. We've been at the brothel.
I am
though,
so
like,
concerned, Will.
I have a hard time envisioning a brothel so extravagant that you would like move across a nation just to work there. You know.
Job's a job.
So
Suppose.
noon comes and you're finally free again.
All right, get rocking.
All right.
Ooh,
You want to
that's
switch to
terrible.
those maps?
Yeah.
You make it. What would that be? Just 1.5 squares around the crook of that island there. You can see that there's like a small little fishing hamlet on the far side. You kind of aim the other way around just to make sure you don't get caught in any uncomfortable situations. Here, the hookway is starting to thin out. There's still definitely a bunch of ships going this way, but the rain making ships stop and people trying not to go out into the bad season really makes it tough to get through here. Using the rest of the ships as a cloak, you're starting to see more and more like Imperial ships going up and down the coast, but they're not really looking for you, it seems like.
And just patrolling.
Is Sun still crafting?
So I'm still crafting.
He gets the 99%. You know what? I'm good.
Yeah, I don't need this thing.
So, with plus 18 from Kenanye.
Nice. Your poor eyes.
Yeah, I know. I wonder if there's like a Google Docs dark mode.
Probably is.
So, is anybody else doing anything in preparation, or?
I'd say I'm still probably working on my ritual project to try and get, some more information on how something like this could be done.
There's a noun or a subject missing in that phrase.
Yeah.
My
Something
ritual,
like what?
My ritual project.
The secret richies.
All right, want to give it a roll?
All right. Last time it went to fucking Gabe's thing.
It did.
Oh, that's not.
I don't know what
as
you're-
good of a roll.
But it's scary.
What?
That is a 19.
All right. Before that 19, Gabe, what are you at? For auto?
94%.
All right. What would that bump you up to?
That would bump me up to 95%.
All right. This kind of fails, but this time you feel a little bit of magical pull in the direction of the munitions room, and you can faintly hear, like, right as Sun, you're sparking something to see if you can get a consistent current and if all the logic modules are working. It goes, Otto is here. Keep true. Left, hard right, left, right, and then it goes down again.
Oh, yes! Otto, damn it!
I think at that moment you hear "damn it" from down below and a "damn it" from up above.
So the rain thickens up again. By now it is like the late afternoon. The Bilgewater is still able to make some headway, but because you were already ahead of the other ship, you're kind of still where you would be anyways. Shit, I just picked up these dice without actually counting what I rolled. You make it 2 squares before you have to come to a stop for the other ships.
And is that like dead south or still southeast?
If you're heading with the Hookway, you'd be going southeast, but I think that puts you right on the edge of, let's see here, right on the edge of F9.
Okay. Don't mind me.
Want to give me another roll there, Mr. Gaten?
Would love to.
Yep.
With plus 23 from Ken and Yi.
All right. Oh man, we're cruising.
Blasted with white light.
I know.
What is everyone else up to in the meanwhile, as you guys are sailing and kind of slowing up and preparing your ship for a bit more rain?
Ship stuff.
Is there like a ritual I can do to help prevent the rain from hitting us in like a preparation so I don't have to be like holding up an umbrella for hours?
It's more magical energy than it's really worth.
Yeah. At this point, I'm just sort of cursing Kenanye and Sun for stealing my ritual magic by creating something that's stealing my ritual magic.
You're a bit of a clanging from Rooker, and he goes, "Hey, can come dry dishes? Help me out a little."
Well, you're gonna have to tell me if it's fully clean or not, but okay.
What are you talking about? Just use a hand. You can feel if there's a lump around.
Yeah, fair enough.
There is lump, there is not lump. But you can go, "Hey, is this a lump?" And I go, "Yes." Or I go, "No, bowl is just broken." What is Ottawa at now, Gabe?
96%.
96?
Yeah.
There's another spark, but just kind of everything's just blue lights, nothing's happening, and then it flickers and goes down again, and a few of the logic modules pop out and go into a different socket as they kind of slide back in. The whole thing's jammed, and you have to go pick things apart again. Meanwhile,
those dwarves are thinking.
it is the dinner hour currently. The rain... I've been rolling the same number over and over. I hope I'm not just, like, failing to make a dot. Okay, no, that one's cursed. That one's in the hell pile.
Are you? Is that a loaded die, basically?
I guess. You know what? Good enough. The rain lets up enough that you can get a little bit more sailing headway through the dinner hour. It's rainy and people are kind of like,
Excuse me.
tossing all the water aside, mopping it, getting buckets out, trying to adjust ropes. And at the same time, there's Rooker being like, "Dinner? Dinner?"
I'll swing by and grab sort of a plate and that's
I'm
sort
gonna
of
run back into the room.
yeah.
Like some sort of animal.
It's basically a mash and it tastes like food and you're not sure what it was, but it's already inside you and you're back in the room.
Man.
Right as you go in, you like walk back and Kennedy finishes like holding onto something, he passes it on. You sit there and maintain pressure on what you're holding and he goes back out to do the same thing.
I'm imagining basically like anime ass like Sun running down the stairs with Ocean Biscuit TM in his mouth.
It's like that. Okay, imagine that, but instead of a nice sort of hard biscuit and looks very cute and kawaii as you hold it in your mouth, you have like a full cheeks bulging out mouthful of mash with like a big clob sort of sticking out. They go.
You turn around and there's a little squirt that goes off onto like someone's bed. All right. So, want to give me another roll?
Yes, I already did a roll.
Okay, Kenan is giving you plus 20.
The thing is, for the anime assness of that, I can still picture a scene where Sun runs around the corner, bumps into Ken and Ye, and they both comically drop to their ass, and then Sun just kind of goes and just spits it all over Kenanye.
Kenanye skillfully catches all of it in his mouth.
No, god damn it, it's not that anime.
On that note, dear God, let's roll some dice.
Dear God.
You made it cursed. You made it cursed, Gabe.
That's cursed. That's cursed.
How
The
dare
wind,
you?
the wind lets up further to the point where it's actually just kind of clouds again. You can see a little further and start making some headway sailing if you wanted to, past dinner into kind of like the evening hour. By now, it would be basically Sun and Kennedy would have like this last little bit of free time before heading to bed.
Come on, good rolls. Bad. Oh, no, not good rolls. Oh, no.
We're at 98%.
We're at
Oh
98%.
my god.
Oh shit, I just lost
And I could help out, but I'm not gonna.
just out of pettiness.
Out of pettiness and anger.
Okay, you got plus 15 from Kenanye.
Oh my god. Okay,
I want it to be 99.89% done.
it is 99.28.
Damn.
Kenanye's made the last of his parts, and he's kind of filed little, like, edges and corners down for you, but really he's got no other investment. This is your little artifice here. So he heads off to bed, but you're not really sleepy. You're motivated by this, I presume. So you're able to go
yes.
like an extra couple hours.
Oh, yes. Come on. Come. Ugh.
The rest of you end up moving, counting, 3 squares in total to where you're almost at the mouth of the bay, and then you start to slow up to catch up with the other ships because you can see an obstacle ahead.
Yeah?
The Titanic. We're the Titanic. It's the iceberg, and we're gonna crash into it.
But the other ship is bigger.
Who's that fuck that said some cool shit and then died?
What?
The Titanic.
There's a lot of people that said some cool shit and then died.
Billy something?
Billy? I don't know.
Christian Bale.
Billy Zane?
It's not Christian Bale, but it's sort of like a Christian
Billy D.
Bale.
Williams.
Christian Bale's
There we
drunk.
go.
If ever there was going to be a person who said something cool and then died, it's Billy D.
Guaranteed.
Leonardo DiCaprio?
Leonardo DiCaprio!
So
What are you talking about?
It wasn't.
And then died!
It wasn't even. It wasn't.
It was the Titanic. Most of them did.
Yeah, it wasn't even the fact that he was the main character. It wasn't even. You couldn't even describe him as the main dude.
An absolute.
Billy!
Billy D. Billy DiCaprio.
So, what's the percentage at below decks?
I just did a roll. And, yeah!
Did you crack 100?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we did! It's 100.05!
Woo!
All right, so you sit there, and quietly Otto goes, "Otto is here." There's a little pivot that he, I presume at this point the actual turret is mounted on the boat, and he's just a head that you have to go and screw on.
Yeah.
So he kind of bonks, slips a little, goes, notices that he's just a pylon, and then goes, "Hold on." He does kind of like a jerky push, and then a roll, and then a flip, and then pushes himself up. Goes, "Hey, there we go. Nice."
Otto, you're
What's that?
Well, we gotta go get you installed.
Okay, maybe me holding myself up was a mistake. I'm just going to stay still a moment.
No, that's okay. I got you. Daddy's got you.
So you grab him by the base. He's kind of just staying out like that. He goes, "Oh, okay." And then, like the outward limbs, he's kind of like ducking underneath doorways and peeking around. You guys see that Sun is just holding a robot head on like a pivoting stick.
This robot.
Give me an order. You leave the munitions room. Who do you see first?
Probably Rutger, I'd imagine.
All right. So you look over at Rutger, and so does Otto, and then quietly you hear like a beep, and then friend or foe.
That's a friend. That's a friend.
Oh, hey, dude. Otto kind of swivels, looks around. It's the very end of their shift, right? So some people have already gone to bed.
Like I'm doing ship stuff, and that's about it.
All right. So Otto does the same, sort of as Bilgy kind of peeks down and looks. Ugh. And then as you go out above the hatch, Otto like identifies a few other people, and then you bolt him onto the top of the turret. It's like a spark as you plug this thing in, and it all starts whirring and spinning around. And then he kind of spins around. Cannons are technically pointed at you, and goes,
Well, what do you think? Those are custom built quarter-pound cannons.
I like being a gun. Who do I shoot?
Oh, there'll be time for that. Let's see. Anybody on the boat? That's no go. They're all friends. Currently, how much world politics do you know?
Please enter current year.
Oh, what year is it?
He kind of grumbles, gets up. Otto does the friend or foe thing, and then he goes, "Friend or, oh, it's you. Hey." Kind of he looks like the robot's awake, I guess. What were you asking?
What year is it?
425.
425.
Anyway,
You there, boy! What year is it?
At this point, everybody on the ship has sort of woken up, and you can see the other ships slowing up at the end of their sailing trajectory. You put in the information, and then Otto goes, authenticating. Memory banks. No news for the past 3,000 years, bud.
Man, I like this guy already. Yeah.
He knows about as much as politics as you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Fill you in. Currently, we're mail. I'm assuming you know mail. Yeah, we're making sure the mail gets delivered real nice.
That's like an email, but different, right? Okay, whatever. General picture. I think I got it.
Okay, yeah. So those ships over there, they are friends. Here, if someone ain't a friend, I'll let you know. If you see any ships sort of coming towards us, looking all angry, like,
Don't say that to the robot.
So Otto starts, like, analyzing, scanning. You can see little bits of laser.
Just let us know. If you see anything out of the ordinary.
There's a little ploink on the top of his head. There's a little screen that pops up, and it's like there's inputs of images of like the Crow masks and the Crow insignia, and it's like documenting as like friendly faction. And then it pops down closed. At this point, everyone else is watching as like Ken and Yi and Sun are sitting there like taking care of their brand new baby. All of you are looking at what is actually pressing, which is at the mouth of the bay, there is a blockade. Just very faintly, there's little lamps, and there's a bunch of ships. Not like a tight one, like a loose one, so they would go after a ship that gets through. Like you can see a ship, and then a little away from that, another one, and then distantly some sails, and then that's it.
Well, I'll say this.
On.
I don't like your robot, but he might come in handy right now.
Yeah, man, we should put this robot to the test.
What's that? What are you saying about my robot?
test it on this ship.
I don't like your robot.
What do you mean you don't like Robot? He's a fine little boy.
I have spent my entire life dealing with all the forces around us. I can sense everything that's living. And she points in the general direction of Otto, and it's just like, that's not living.
It's a robot. Otto, do you want to explain what a robot is? I think my friend here might not understand.
There's sort of like a caw as Warbles kind of flutters off. You feel Warbles' signature kind of blonk vaguely on top of something, and then Otto faintly goes, Roquill.
What?
What?
You said my name.
Warbles flutters back to you.
Hello, Warbles.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I wasn't me.
I'm going back to bed. I don't know what to...
What?
Or wait, are we gonna...
Warbles, you piece of shit!
Wait, what did Warbles do?
He mimicked the fucking robot's voice. Warbles, don't converse with the robot. Or say anything that the robot says.
Yeah, I've
Warbles
put up
seems confused.
for a
You
long
feel
time.
Warbles flutter off, and then there's like a... as like Warbles lands on Otto again, and then Otto goes, Manual override, Croquill, friend, shiny? And then there's another and Warbles flies back over to you.
Yeah, there's a manual override, which...
How does Warbles know how to control the robot?
is my
Warbles
bird.
is the best bird.
Listen, I designed the manual override is pretty intuitive. Go, give it a try.
You did not design a manual override.
Uh-oh.
Warbles just on top of this thing, and then Otto started talking for Warbles, and then Warbles flew back.
I did. I thought I did put a manual override in there. Like, you can't use them just as a turret. That was before I put a robot.
Oh no, that's like the manual speech override in the robot brain.
Actually,
As you're sitting there hearing all of your various devices and animals chirp to each other, there's a bit of a focused grumble from the apparatus, and like two of the cannon ports on one of the sides point towards blockade.
Alright, enough of this for now. Warbles, you're staying on my shoulder, because we got some business to attend to.
Some fighting to do. Let's...
all right, Otto, your first fight.
So
fight some boys.
you're taking a look around, getting an eye out, and you can see that there's some ways you could go around. On the close side, and you're on the close side, and on the far side of the bay, there's a bunch of jutting rocks that it would be suicide to go in at night, but during the daytime you might be able to weave through them to evade some ships.
How many are we looking at fighting if we go straight through the blockade?
The thing we have to keep in mind as well is we need to protect the main ship.
Yeah.
Right, would those big ships be able to go through the rocks, same as us, or it's quite a bit nimbler, eh?
This whole blockade is actually like a major thing. All of these are like full tier gunships. So they're big, they're slow to maneuver, they have like 4 guns aside. And you would probably get 2 or maybe even 3 of them after you, especially if you had other ships.
But how many of them are there? Is it stretching the entire entry to the bay?
You can't see the far end of the bay, but you presume that it is.
Shit.
And our mothership go through these rocks?
The mothership cannot, but you can. So can the bow and arrow.
All right, well, I mean, if we in the bone marrow sneak around behind and draw their attention...
We would leave the mothership completely exposed.
Well,
Yeah.
no, hear me out. And then we run like hell to get these ships to chase us. That should leave an opening for the mothership to go pew right on through, eh?
But then
As you look out,
what if there's more beyond this?
You can see that there's like lanterns on the few boats that are out there. So if you turned off all your lights, you might be able to sneak closer. That being said, all you can see of the rocks is you can hear the sloshing. You can see that there's these big waves that catch the moonlight and occasionally like a glistening of stone, but you can't make out anything specific.
Okay, so gunships. We're not gunships, right?
No. Both of your motherships are.
So it would be like two maneuverable ships versus, or two maneuverable ships and two gunships versus, like, presumably 4 gunships.
Okay.
Those are not good odds.
And possibly even more ships. Like, the count of the ships that we are able to see is beyond 4, right, Will?
You can see only 3 right now.
You can see only 3? Okay.
We may not have them outnumbered, but we sure as hell got them outgunned.
No, we don't. They're gunships.
We got the apparatus. Look at this thing. Got auto. I'm not saying we try our luck, just ramming into them, but I don't think we got to be too worried about confrontation.
We could try baiting them away, but only us. We leave the bone marrow to protect the main.
Not like they're defenseless. They're gunships in their own right, eh?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean we leave them to fight other gunships.
No. What I'm saying is we try to break up the blockade. We get around behind them, they'll be forced to break up formation.
Yeah, and if we do that, then the main thing is still protected.
All right, let's do it. We'll want some interference.
Yeah, your camera's a little bit frozen.
Oh, the camera.
It's okay. You weren't frozen in any embarrassing positions, so it's all good.
Bill G kind of narrows his eyes and goes, I don't like sailing through crags at night. That's a recipe for a sunk ship.
Oop.
When do we head out?
Can I... Is there any algae on the rocks, Will?
Give me a roll.
They're gone. Oh. Okay.
Oh, damn. We're short some people.
Yep, we're short some people, but I'll roll anyway. Oh, that's not a good roll. That is not a good roll. Oh,
It's
hello.
Oh!
connected again.
Just had a little whoopsie daisy.
That's a 19 to detect algae.
right,
Specifically on the rocks. I want to see if I can locate where the rocks are based on the algae.
Okay.
So you stabilize yourself, you start feeling for algae, and you start actually picking it up. You can feel the contours of the rocks. At this point, warbles you can feel flutter off towards Otto, and then you hear like the same manual override, and then keep straight, keep straight, keep straight.
Warbles, what have I told you about going over to Otto?
There's a and then and he comes back to you.
It just warbles to give us
Stupid robot has a point.
directions.
Stupid robot has a point. It is straight ahead.
No, I'm pretty sure that was your bird sort of communicating through my robot.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
Otto, I didn't know you spoke bird.
I don't know. I didn't know that was a bird. Apparently, that's a bird. Apparently, I
It's a
speak
bird. Well, good. You know, you did. You done did good, son. I'm proud of you.
Can you
Oh,
can you do a see how you feel about going straight?
Well,
I would say see how you feel about trying to navigate in the dark purely
Yeah.
based on
Okay.
LJ mapping.
based on Otto giving us slight directions and me being able to feel the algae to confirm where we are.
Yeah.
How do I feel about going through the rocks at night?
Might be able to pull it off.
We might be able to pull this off.
I don't know how much.
But
No.
no.
Wonder what that is. Maybe it's about like their internet connection.
Maybe.
Because like we're staying stable, so they're the common factor.
Yeah, they're the common factor on this one. It could be their internet connection, which is entirely possible. It could be Discord itself for them because they haven't updated it or something.
Can't believe they would hypothetically do that, those bastards.
I know. How dare you not keep your Discord up to date?
Just because Chelsea's gone, I can still hear you guys. I just can't say.
You just hear it talk.
Yeah, I
Hear us talking shit.
Yeah, I heard all those words.
Hey, hypothetically.
I disconnected the Ethernet cord, so
Yeah.
maybe I think maybe that was the problem.
Sometimes unpredictability is the best predictability of them all.
As they say. I don't know who they is, but I guess they say it.
Sorry. Okay. Could you repeat whatever just happened? I need to know. About
I have a good feeling. I have a good feeling that we can get through this. We might be able to pull this off, and it'll be really fucking cool if we do. Are we having even more technical difficulties?
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, I think we lost. I think Gabe lost our audio, but we still have Gabe.
Jesus Christ.
Did we do something else?
No, Gabe needed to do the disconnect, reconnect.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Are we good?
There we go.
Okay.
For some reason, my headphones disconnected.
Was it because
We're
you just
struggling.
connected them?
No, weirdly, no. All the wires were fully plugged in.
All right.
But it was. Oh,
LG says we rocking.
Yes.
let us rock.
Do you have a good feeling about it?
We can pull this off.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. You start adjusting the sails. Who's where? Because I presume that like Croquill, you're just sitting there feeling and reporting back.
I'm literally just sitting there in sort of like a meditative position, just feeling the rocks.
All right. What about Sun? What about Jane?
I feel like Sun is trying to find something that would create enough light to like point over the bow, just double check, to just make sure. You know, I'm not
I thought the
expecting to be
whole
able
point
to
was
roll.
that we didn't have lights on.
No. Well, hear me out.
I thought the whole point was that we were sneaking past.
Yeah, I don't want to bright. I guess it doesn't matter how bright the light is.
Also,
There's no lights.
Also, Will, I'm assuming we told the other ship what our plan was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They're standing by to wait for the ships to get pulled off.
Okay. Well, in that case, I am going to. I'm worried this is going to go south, and I'm trying to think of how to mitigate that. And you're right, we can't have any lights.
It might just be a trust moment.
It might just be a trust moment.
Which I think is probably the most like anxiety-inducing thing for Sun ever.
Yeah, no, Sun.
But you don't have to trust your crew. You just need to trust Otto.
Well, it is Croco speaking through Otto.
Well, no, it's sort of the two of us. I'm not specifically speaking through Otto. I am simply pointing out different areas, and Otto is also pointing out areas, right?
In that case, I will go and stock Otto up with munitions, I guess. Prepare for fighting to lead him off.
All right. Bilgy goes back and starts grabbing onto the actual wheel, the rudder, getting ready to get going. Jane, you start loosening up the sails, and Sun, you load in the last of these, and then wink off the lights. Things are just dark, and you're going through sloshy sounding waters. You just hear straight, slight left, straight, slight left,
And with
straight.
With that, Croquill is saying the exact same thing at the exact same time.
It's like a weird Blair Witchy thing where like it's the same tone, the same everything, like double speak, like Croquill and Otto being like, veer right, slight left, slow, hard right, slight left, straight, hard left, and then that last one is the one where you go out into the open through the crags. You're still all dark, and you're actually really close to the other ship, to the point where if they were able to see you, they'd have already started panicking. I'm going to give you a moment while I run off to the bathroom.
Well, I'm going to go over and give
My
Croquill
stupid idea worked!
Yeah,
My stupid idea worked!
a big slap on the back. And well, good
Okay,
job, Croquill.
we're past them, but now we gotta draw them, so we have to get their attention, don't we?
Yeah.
Well, you know what would really get their attention?
Guns.
Sinking one of the bastards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, we just kind of go for the first... Okay, so our exact plan is to draw them away, correct? So we would want to draw them out and chase us out of the bay, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we would need to then just kind of basically flash our lights at them, shoot them, try and sink the first one, and then fucking book it.
Yeah.
As we go past the
Surprise round.
whatever one is in our thing and try and peel as many off as possible. I like our crazy.
I dropped the goddamn dice.
I think you drop a dice on the floor every single time.
Every goddamn time.
Sometimes more than once.
So yeah, I think that plan sort of works. We want to peel them out of the bay, away from their other ships, like so we're not even cutting across. Okay.
Ow!
That's
So what's the
what we're
plan?
Ow!
In English, our plan is to basically flash our headlights at them, blind them,
No,
like
just
blindside them,
fire.
and like sort of draw them towards us. And we want to basically run the blockade the other way,
My thoughts
and
are
pull them
we
out
want-
of the bay.
we
Okay.
want to- I don't think we want to flash the lights at them. I think we want to just sink them and book it.
Yeah, keep
Yeah.
the lights off. Just start firing.
Like keep the lights off until we are close enough that there's
Okay,
no
yeah.
way they don't
Keep the
see
lights
us,
off,
sink
and
them,
then like fire, lights on.
then
Yeah,
lights and book it. Yeah.
because we need to make our presence known.
Yes, we do need to make our presence known, but I feel like we don't want to waste our surprise. You know.
Yeah.
All right, you communicate the message to everyone. What kind of ammo is loaded in the apparatus right now?
In the
For the-
apparatus, it's straight cannonballs trying to sink them.
Straight cannonballs. All right, everyone is ready. Everyone is loaded.
Booning the
And-
shit out of Cannonier.
All
This
right.
first shot is gonna goddamn count.
So you're slowly drifting in. The lights are still off, but now that you can see the other boat and you know you're just like away from the daggers, you can kind of just drift closer and closer, bit by bit. Jane, you're the most accurate, like far shot, right?
Yes.
People know who's good at what, so Tiana comes up and takes over the sails for a little bit.
It's on your mark, Jane.
On my mark.
On your mark.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Wait till we're close enough.
All right.
I'll shoot a guy in the head, and then we'll let go of the cannonballs.
You're getting closer and closer, and you're picking out the targets. You can see that they're kind of just laughing or whatever. There's no one at any of the cannons, and it looks like because this is a military ship and they're keeping a good eye out, there's piles of like cannons and nearby powder, but none of them are loaded either. There's one person who is looking over, and you can see them kind of looking like, what the...
The water's not looking like it's supposed to.
Nice. Worth it?
Time to go have sex in a car, I think.
All right, I'm sniper shotting this dude.
All right, give me a roll for that. You said that you're booning the apparatus, right?
Yes.
All right, so for the opening salvo, I believe that's like 60 seconds. That's pretty good.
Yes.
And what does auto fire?
Otto is full of grape shot, and I've instructed him to aim for their sails.
All right. And what are you firing?
71 to hit this guy.
Oh my
70.
god.
71.
Fuck.
What are you firing?
Sniper shot gives me plus 50.
Oh my god. And then doubles it.
Oh, wait. And then doubles it.
Hey, Mark, what you seeing out there on the water? Oh my god, Mark!
No!
So, do you want to give me a roll for auto?
Yes. What do I roll for Otto?
I believe it's just double your weapon roll. Or, no, double your, whatever your artifice crafting roll was.
Okay.
The only thing is, like, once per adventure, you can activate auto at, like, full capacity. Otherwise, he just works as, like, a normal weapon on manual fire.
Okay. In that case, I'm firing auto, so that's 10 plus my gunsmith, which is 4 dots. And then you're saying that's doubled?
Yes.
Okay, so that's 6 plus 4 plus 6 plus 2 plus 10 times 2, so that's 56.
All right. And so then Bilgi is steering. Tiana's got the sails. Ken and Yi is below deck operating that stuff. Rooker is the only free hand, and he's not a good shot. He's just holding on for dear fucking life. So that's the opening salvo. This guy's peering out going, what the... And then dead between the eyes, he falls back past the edge of the bow with a bolt between the eyes. A bunch of, like, sailors quickly rush up going, what the shit? And then, boom, right out of Otto's, like, main eye, there's, like, a full beam, like, spotlight and megaphone volume. He goes, good morning! Right at the same time, the apparatus underneath goes, and it just shreds the entire side of the ship as you go past. There's some shouting and screaming and people desperately running up to start, like, ringing bells. You have their attention.
All right, full steam ahead. Let's run like hell.
Yeah, let's just keep going.
Good job, Otto.
So you have their attention and another gunship's attention that just saw that. That's far enough that it started to pull towards you. The other gunship seems to be staying where it is out of precaution, but it's way off in the distance. If all of your ships went through right now and these ships were gone, it wouldn't be able to catch up to you. So the further of the two ships that's going after you has just started to about face and that stuff. The ship that you hit, like, people are just loading the cannons and unfurling the sails, and half the people are missing and they don't know what to do. They're kind of just floundering in the water.
Go.
Grab another shot and let's go.
Yeah, take some pot shots and let's get the hell out of here.
The truth is, you have them so flat-footed, you might be able to go in for another little greedy.
Why not? Why not?
I'm gonna hex the people on the cannons then.
All right. Well, we got to build up speed somehow. Let's sort of aim to go pass and blow on that other ship that's gearing up to follow us, and then kind of about, you know.
All right, so you're getting ready for the far one to catch up to you, and then you're going to hit it with a volley, basically?
Oh, we're dipping up to meet it, you know? Like, we're...
Oh, are we?
Yeah, that's my plan, you know.
Okay.
Get some speed going and then hit it on our way out.
It is a gunship, so...
This is
All right.
true, but I'm thinking if we... I don't know how to put this, but if we get... The angles in my brain are like, it's coming at us, so it's facing towards us. If we're moving away, then it's going to be
It will have
aiming
to
toward
turn
our
around
flank.
in order to
It'll have to
follow
sort of...
us.
Yeah, turn about to get our cannons on it. If we can get a couple pot shots on its bow, you know, as we're
Yeah.
booking it. That's kind of my thought.
Okay, sure. Let's do it.
So you give that direction, people are starting to turn around, the cannons are reloading underneath the deck, Otto is already putting more grape shot in, and you start to turn around. The diversion is working, and you can see the other ships light up their lanterns so they can see their own deck and start making their way across. By now, there's no reason not to, so you're able to see your feet in front of you. And as you're making your way towards the other one and coming in for that big broadside, you see that the bone marrow, there's just this purple flaming thing that kind of arcs and spins with a little smoky plume, and the ship that you hit with the broadside, this thing just kind of lands, and it's like, what? As someone ignores it and goes to try to aim a cannon at your ship as you guys are escaping, the cannon misfires and the entire ship just goes up in a purple mushroom cloud.
I hope we get the credit for that.
I don't think we deserve that. But let's focus. We gotta take on that ship and get the fuck out of here.
All right.
So you guys are about to close in on the other ship right in front of you as it's turning. Everyone there on the cannons was getting ready for a shot, but for a brief moment, they're just kind of looking at the cloud in amazement. Let's rail up some shots.
All right.
Who's doing what?
I'm going. Otto, go! Kick his ass!
All right. So Otto's firing full bore. Same thing with the apparatus as well, right?
Yes.
All right. What is Croquill doing?
I don't know. I think I'm gonna go for another hex.
All right.
Because I'm certainly not booning Otto. He's not even a living thing. Can't boon or hex something that's not alive.
I mean, in metaphysical sense, he's sort of an extension of me and my right to exert influence over the world.
I can do another sniper shot, right?
Mm-hmm. You've had the time to prep it.
The way you might boon an arrow or boon
So there's
an arrow. I boon the archer.
There's 4 people who are at the cannons right now who are about to fire but are briefly dazzled by the mushroom cloud. Who's aiming at who? Who is auto-targeting with what ammo? And the apparatus is just going for the belly of the ship right now.
Yeah, I'm telling Otto to aim for their sails, just in case they have if we cripple their sails. What are they gonna do? They're gonna chase us? They're gonna turn?
Well, we do kind of want them to chase us.
This is true. You know what? In light of that, just aim at the cannon points.
Have a blast.
Give them a reason to duck.
Go nuts.
Yeah, say, hey, maybe think twice before lighting that cannon.
All right. So who is Jane sniping at?
Whoever I think will cause the most
disarray.
Disarray. If I take out.
There's a few people that spring to mind. It looks like there is someone at the helm of the ship who's steering the rudder, and there's someone up in the crow's nest.
And steering the ship.
God, could you imagine being up in the crow's nest? Man, sure glad I'm up here and they're down there. And then,
all right. So, would you roll against the helmsman?
70 doubled.
All right,
So
140. You fire off another shot, and just like the last one, it's right through the side of the head. The guy tumbles and flips off the side of the boat. The boat that was already turning to face you is turning a little too far. Otto shreds towards the cannon, so they duck before firing. They don't manage to get a shot off before you do. As this happens, the boat is raked with cannon fire. It won't be enough to sink it, but it's enough to really slow it and have them forced to go down and fix things. At this point, the boat keeps turning, and then they kind of fire cannons, but they're way too far away and fire them at a random distance. At this point, your boats have made it through the blockade, you're far away, you have enough space to catch up with them, and this boat is kind of just making a big circle.
And now it's time to run. Yeah.
All right.
All right. You've made it through the blockade one way.
Oh,
Cool.
beans. Oh. Fuck.
So it is past the last sailing shift. Everyone's exhausted and has been woken up for this big skirmish. You've got a bit of bloodlust keeping you awake, though. It is I believe it's the early night right now.
I'm still up doing ship things. Like, I'm tired. I'm tired from all that, but I like nighttime. Nighttime makes me feel fresh.
Want to pull up the map?
Sure.
So you end up making it about 3 squares. Would that bring you all the way into Dagger Bay or no?
No.
All right. Which way are you going around that big island?
Like, I assume we just went west.
All right. So you make your way along this first sort of central channel. You make your way past a few fishing villages. There's an outpost on top of... Like, you can see the shadow, especially when you see a bit of moon behind it. You can get a bit of a silhouette. There must have been some sort of village on top of this island, but it's been completely abandoned. There's no light or anything. You pass by a few fishing villages where, like, they're 6 times the size they should be. They're all extremely nice. Everything's, like, 4 stories and gorgeous stuff. But there's a few people kind of just looking bewildered at the idea that there's a new set of ships coming through. It is the late night.
I wonder why.
Oh, man. That reminds me of episode 1 when the Trade Federation was holding a blockade around Naboo. Those Gungans didn't know what fucking hit them.
What are you talking?
The fucking Gungans, they didn't know what hit them.
Star War!
You're saying it in
Sun voice.
Oh, yeah.
I think that adds to it. I think it
Yeah, I
makes
know,
all
right?
of, like,
It's just Sun just going on a rant about some play he's seen, and it's like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Hey, buddy! I was talking to Otto.
Well, in-game, would you guys be kind of derailing for the night, throwing down the anchor while you're in the bay, and kind of like letting yourselves get a bit of sleep and recuperation now that you're on the other side of the blockade? Or are you going through until it's like dead middle of the night and you've made port?
I think making port would almost be stupid. Like, I think we almost want to get a little ways away from...
I think the opposite. We would want to get to port. We would want the safety of being in port if there are other ships looking for us.
Oh, important notation. Was that a soft barricade that we just blasted through, or is soft...
That was an Imperial barricade.
Oh, then we're getting a fucking port, baby.
Right? Like, that wasn't some bandits that were just like, yeah, we want your money. Give us your money. That's just like, no,
Right.
This is... We just committed treason.
But I guess what I should say is Soth controlled by the Imperials. Is Soth an Imperial colony, or is it an individual place?
That's a good question. Let me just double check something on my own.
Okay.
So, if you notice on the map... Oh! I'm echoing. Who's echoing?
That's good.
Oh, no, we're good,
Oh,
okay.
Gabe came unplugged.
If you notice on the map, just the capital is the only place big enough here to have like an actual flag. It's white and blue.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, half of the continent and also the far side of this island is Imperial. In terms of like sailor politics, a big part of this area off the mainland was like quote unquote uncharted, where like lifelong sailors would go there and know there were like little fishing huts and colonies and homesteads that have been established, but only recently after the war did people actually start charting them, and the Empire started actually trying to settle the land, and so they've been forcing people off. A lot of the independent colonies are out further eastward and southward and that kind of stuff, but here Soth is a really, really big island that's actively being like counter-conquered by the Imperials on the far side.
Okay, so It's a tumultuous relationship.
Yeah.
Put it lightly. Okay, yeah, let's go to port.
Okay.
Let's get the fuck to port.
How's Big Boy ship?
They seem to be going strong. They seem to have the same, like, look, we're exhausted, but we can just stay there for an extra day and, like, eat, drink, recuperate, and then go and charge the blockade again.
Yeah, because we're going to have to do that again. And I don't think the same shenanigans are going to work again.
You just barely, like, you're going and going and going, and it's just at the break of the witching hour that you're finally docked at port. There's no port authority. There's no, like, there's 2 fishing boats, 1 cruiser, and then, like, 2 soft gunships that are at port, and then, like, 8 empty docks. You just pick one. No one really seems to care. Just like everywhere else you've seen so far here on Soth, like, it's these big, way too big, elaborate buildings, but there's like 3 people here.
All right. Hello. I'm going to bed. Otto, you keep a lookout.
Can do.
Don't shoot nobody without checking with us first. But alert us if anything suspicious.
A little while after, like, you've tied down your ropes, but before everyone's headed off to bed, one of the rookers, who's like running one of the boats, just comes to mention that the rookery here is really small and the rooker's asleep. They're just going to wait till morning.
Okay.
Call.
You all kind of doze off. How likely would you all be to sleep in?
Sun hasn't slept solidly, I think, in the past week, trying to finish Otto. So Sun would probably be the most likely to sleep in.
I think Croquill has a tendency to sleep in, simply because she has a tendency of being up late.
Alright, so it's like maybe like late morning when finally you're roused when you hear Otto going, "Friend, friend, friend." It's enough to wake you up and you can hear the groaning of one of the rookers coming up onto the boat.
Alright.
Oh, good job, Otto. That is a friend.
The rooker kind of like waves and goes, "I did give you a moment. We honestly could use one too. Got everything loaded up if you want to go."
Yeah. Let's go bring some stuff in.
Yep.
You kind of just,
Yeah.
you look across the big empty city. There's big like areas, like sections of the street where people have put up like pallets and pallets of like barrels of sugar and stuff like that.
Neat.
Sugar. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're pretty good on supplies, eh?
Rooker, do you want any sugar?
You know what? Sugar's pretty expensive. Maybe I'll go check.
All right. Well,
Cool.
we'll let
Alright.
a fine 4-limbed friend there go look at the sugar.
I want to figure out why this city's so luxurious, but there's nobody here.
Yeah.
After a little while, Rooker comes back, and he's like just sort of like at the base of the gangplank. He goes, "Okay, so I got a barrel of free sugar, provided we maybe come back through the barricade once or twice after the job is done."
Ooh. Oh, okay.
Is that what we become? Are we the blockade runners now?
Rooker kind of like toddles his way up. He's like a massive bear dude with 4 arms. He takes up a lot of space, but like in his heart, he is small. So he kind of like toddles up and goes, "Okay. So it turns out not so much a job, but I see opportunity. I take opportunity. I negotiate. They have all this extra sugar and wheat and produce that they have way too much of because they just produce so much, and everyone has all this time off to be artisans and build, but nobody buys because there's, well, only the Imperials and Westmarch and Celestia, and all of them don't like this place. So maybe we get that at big discount, go sell it. We just say we got it from Imperial Colony. And then we go buy a bunch of things like medicine and gunpowder and weapons and high explosives and just bring them back to some friends. And it's a nice, equitable market relationship.
I like.
Oh, I do support sort of the trade of munitions and gunpowder. That sounds right up my alley.
I have at least someone on board.
I do like the illegal smuggling.
There we go, that's two. Okay.
All right, well, I'm trying to think of a downside to all this. And
The downside is that we have to
No
run the
downside.
blockade, which we
did
could
that.
do.
He nods and he goes, aye, downside is the danger. I'm in.
Yeah, well, there is always the danger. Tell you what, why don't we just sort of play by ear? You know, if we get back and the blockade is 4 times as big on account of us blasting through it twice, and maybe we don't. But
On the
Way I
upside,
see it.
I'm always up for shaming some Imperials.
oh yeah.
Well, I will go and I will just buy sugar for my own ship stores, and then when we go there, maybe after we see the blockade, we can make a decision when we come back.
I say we
Yeah, well-
take an opportunity when we see it. We have room in the hold. Why don't we just get some?
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, what we have is a bunch of sugar that we sold in exchange for guns and dynamite. I don't really see a downside.
See, perfect. Okay, let's get this going. And he claps
All right,
and
yeah.
toddles back off. You guys can basically buy to your heart's content. I'm gonna pick up the actual game itself so I can figure out what the mass is on this, but you can get pallets and pallets and pallets of sugar. Or wheat or spices. This place has basically a lot of material resources, but no one buys.
Do
Well-
they have?
The next place that we're going to what would they need the most? What's the most advantageous for going to the southern part of the main continent?
Oh, they will buy all of this stuff. It's just that they won't buy it from Soth if they know it's from Soth.
Fair enough. Okay, well,
Okay, let's see here.
Buy it if they know it's from Soth?
they won't buy it if they know it's from Soth.
I know, but why?
Because Soth is a not conquered imperial state, and basically, yeah.
Soth. Okay, so Soth has a bunch of Skytouch that have fled, like Alistair the Tyrant, Celestial, and Celestia. And so they don't have a good relationship with the people that refugees keep coming from, because Alistair wants his people back. Westmarch doesn't like them because basically this country is full of people that they consider, legally speaking, to be traitors and dishonorable discharges and deserters and stuff like that. And the Imperials...
They're Imperials.
Well, they basically know that they're the one people who can choose not to play ball, and then they have the control, so they just go, I think we're just going to not buy, I'm sorry. And then they've been choking Soth until it can conquer it.
Cool.
Well,
So it's 5 gold for a 10 encumbrance bag. So however much you guys want to throw in for cash, you can have just a hold full of sugar that you can sell at a high price. Also, sugar keeps. So if you don't want to stay, or if you want to really delay these runs, you can run further and further north, and it'll be more and more valuable.
All right. Well, I will put a gold in on a bag of sugar.
I'll put 10 in.
You guys are so rich!
The various NPCs go in, they put all the cash together into 20 total.
Now I will.
I'll put 5 gold in on sugar.
25 gold.
Is there anywhere I could buy? I mean, while we're buying sugar, if I'm just looking around, would I be able to buy gunpowder, things for making munitions?
That's the one thing that they desperately, desperately need. They have no supplies.
Understandable. Okay.
And basically, if they run out of gunpowder, then that blockade just sails in.
Well, I know what I am going to be making and what I will be selling when I return here next.
The people
All
who
right.
saw.
Yeah.
They will praise. They'll have statues of you and Ken and Ye as like the war heroes that fucking ran the blockade to give them munitions.
All right, so you guys have 5 bags of sugar that are worth 5 gold each. You load those into your hull in some of the free space. There's no labeling on them or anything. It just says sugar, so yeah, nobody even knows. It's fine. Everything's loaded up, and you're ready to go against the blockade the other way.
Should we take a day off? Maybe. What's the weather like here? What's the?
Well,
Is
well,
there
So
palm trees?
long as you're in the bay, you're away from the worst of that rain. Some of it will come back when you're on the far side of the blockade, but by that point you'll be far away from the crack that it starts to fade. Here, it is absolutely like palm trees and sugarcane fields. Like you haven't seen it on this island, but you are well aware islands in this area and like the deeper parts of this island are full of dense jungle.
All right,
A little bit. You know,
taking the sights.
swim in the waves.
The temptation for a beach episode is too strong, is it?
Each episode.
well, I don't want to be a downer, but
Just
the
a
longer we
day
wait
to
here,
sort of relax, right? Like we do all.
It is
the
true.
running.
The longer we wait, the longer we give them time to fix their shit.
Fine, we can head out in the afternoon if that's what the other ships want to do.
The other ships are willing to do so. They're also definitely like, yeah, the afternoon. What about the late afternoon? And then we just go until the evening, early night. Yeah.
I mean, early. That sounds like a good time for a fight. You
For a
know,
second blockade running.
I mean, it
In that
worked out the
case-
first time.
You guys have 4 to 6 hours to kill. What do you get up to?
Waxing.
I want to kind of go sort of towards the edge of town to see what nature is like. Let warbles have a little bit of a fly around, maybe scry on him a little bit, like doing multiple different things. See what grows here. Let's see what grows here. I want to make something grow.
All right. So Croquill, you toddle off to kind of like blend with the nature for a little while. What's Sun up to?
Sun is I don't know where he procured these, but he is hurling clay pigeons out over the ocean for Otto to shoot. You know, the way a father might play catch with his son.
Yeah. There's basically like just someone nearby who's like, well, I have 3,000 plates that I can't sell. Fuck it. So there's like there's like 2 local kids that are like helping you throw them off the bow of the ship and going, yeah!
I want to find the ugliest looking fruit that I can find and then eat it.
All right, so you're leaving the ship as there's periodic sounds of like target acquired, target acquired. You and Croquill walk a little ways out past the streets and into the nearby fields. It's the plains around here, so there's little rises and sinks where things get denser, thicker. One big thing is that the soil around here hasn't been farmed for like generations and generations and generations and generations, so it's a lot more, not just rich, it's only a little bit more rich. The big thing is that it has a lot of like just pre-existing stuff in here. You kind of are able to pull little bits of organic matter and like vague seedlings together and make things grow from the ground around you. And here, it's a lot more fertile for like weird plants to grow.
Oh, I want to make the weird plants.
The weird plants.
All right, so you're looking around, and it's the same thing. Like you're listening to Jean go, "It's pretty weird. That's not that weird. That's pretty weird." And then you feel that there's like a little sapling that doesn't have enough root space, but with a little coaxing, You're able to kind of direct the roots around a few rocks you feel down there, and then this thing quickly gets like a magical growth spurt and starts plonking out a few fruit. These things are like basically like little tiny red bananas. They hook all the way around, and then they have a fish hooky head.
Eat it.
Yeah, let's have a snack.
Make your death roll.
You crack it open, like you pass one half to each person. You do the little like. It literally just tastes like strawberries and cream, like dead ass like strawberries and cream. And then by the time you go and like have a second go, then you get like a soapy aftertaste, a faint one, enough that like it's really up to you whether you want to keep going or not, and whether or not this is a good flavor.
I keep eating it regardless of whether or not.
Yeah, I'm like really curious. I want to see how warbles. I give warbles just a little bit because I don't know if it's necessarily best for birds. So I'm gonna give them just a little bit, and I'm gonna have a little go at it as well.
So warble seems a little averse to it, not really interested. As you're sitting there giving it a go, you get a disgusting kind of blood in the back of your throat, and you look over and you see warbles in the middle of like yanking on a dead rat that's stuck inside of a log.
Warbles, not while I'm eating, please.
Yummy.
You spend a few more hours kind of wandering around in the woods before coming back in the late afternoon when all the ships are ready to go.
Okay.
I want to for Rutger. I want to give a banana to Rutger. He's always making me food. I want to give him a gift of weird banana.
And for that, you have earned weird banana.
As you're all getting ready to go, he takes a little bit and he goes, "Oh, I heard about this fish folk fruit. Doesn't it taste like..." And he cracks it open. He gives a little... "Yeah, like... And there's the soap. Soapy. I appreciate the gesture. It's not for me, but I appreciate it."
It's like cilantro. It's not for everyone.
Exactly.
I was going to say that, but I was trying to think of the word cilantro. My brain could give me salami.
Oh my god, if your salami has a soapy taste to it, no. No.
That does seem like bad salami.
Soapy salami.
Let's rock and roll. Let's bash and smash.
Yeah.
Which way are we going on the map as you're heading off?
Well,
North.
yeah, we need to head northeast, right, for the next thing?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking they might have shored up the defenses from the other area, but they might not have gotten to the... Like, from the area that we breached before, but they might not have gotten to the other area yet. So we might be able to try and get away that way.
Like the way you came?
No, like the other way. Like, I'm assuming they shored up the defenses in the area that we came in. So if we were to go the other way, they might not have.
All right. In that case, you start setting sail.
I don't know.
The wind is...
How does my logic sound? That sounds fine to me, but I don't know.
To me.
You start setting sail and you make your way the far way around the island. It's about 3 squares, so a little bit before that last bay and going out into the ocean. You can see the blockade in the distance. By the time you've slowed up here, it's closer to like dinner time. The sun is low, but it isn't dark yet. If you get any closer, they're going to spot you and start coming after you.
Are we going straight through?
Yeah,
There are more of these like dagger rocks on this side of the bay as well.
Should we try the same thing?
You wouldn't need the radar unless you wait for nightfall to do this.
I mean, the nightfall is what made it work so well.
If we get on the rock and then moor there and wait for nightfall, same diff, right?
Yeah, but they might see you going in there.
I mean, I'm desperately trying to think of a way to do this that isn't just the same cheese as last time, but like...
I don't think we go for the rocks.
How many ships can we see right now?
You can see it's similar to beforehand. This time, like, they're presumably a little bit more nervous and aware, but there's like one on the close side, and then one that would be able to reasonably respond, and then one last one that you can see, but that wouldn't be able to close in time.
Yeah, like I'm wondering if what we should be doing is instead wait for a little bit of nightfall, wait for it to get dark, and instead just blast right past them. Like,
God,
try
you're
and
so
just
smart.
be like, "Sup, bitches, chase us now."
Sure. Let's
Like,
do it.
no tricks, no nothing, just running a
God.
blockade. We're
Oh my
faster
God,
than them.
Roadkill.
Like,
But we do have the mothership still, right?
They're as fast as we are. They're just not as maneuverable, eh?
yeah, so we just need to draw them away from the mothership.
It's also worth saying, each one of these ships can go toe-to-toe with one of those ships. It's just like, there it would be a 50-50 who sinks who, and that's not a risk that the rookeries are willing to take.
Yeah.
But if there's two of you, and two of your, like, 4 ships, and one of you is the Bilgewater, and the other one's the Bone Marrow, then they're willing to do that run.
Well,
Okay,
yeah,
let's
let's just blast through. Do we want to blast through as the Bilgewater, sort of get them to turn around, and then they'll be blasted from behind by Bone Marrow and our 2 gunships?
The Bone Marrow is close enough that, like, someone goes out on one of their far pontoons and goes, "Hey, what concoction you want us to put together?"
Okay, so what we want to just go through, try to get them to like be focused on us, and then have the other guys come up behind.
Yeah,
I think that's the plan.
And, do some flanking action.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. Well, we're planning to blast through sort of a breaker. What the hell am I thinking of? We're gonna try and break through, get past the other side, and as we're sort of turning about, you guys come blasting in. So,
Flank them.
yeah, if you got something that'll hit hard, hit fast, and leave them more dazed than anything, I think that'll be best.
There's a bunch of people on the ship that all turn to each other. As they turn, you can hear the clinking. They're clearly like a bunch of alchemists who are also doing other things. One of them is like an alchemist and a cook. One of them is an alchemist and a builder. You hear them like, smoke. They come back and they go, okay, option 1, mist. We throw it before you go. It lands. You go through it. We follow as it clears and blast them to pieces.
I like
Option
it.
2, ice. One of the ships just doesn't follow. Option 3, high explosives.
As much as I love option 3, I think option 1 is our best chance of getting out of this in one piece.
option 2 is also very viable.
I do like option 2 as well. Then we only have to
Completely takes
face
a
one
boat
ship.
out of the equation.
Well, I mean, option 2 and option 3 are essentially the same option, just one's a little less gory.
Do hate things being less gory.
Well,
My vote is
As
for
much
option 3.
On the other hand, if we say you can't just build a ship willy-nilly. Even the Empire doesn't have that much gold.
Yeah, like, if we just take them out and go through, then we don't have to worry about pursuers at all. We'll be good.
ooh, all right, you convinced me. I can't say no to high explosives.
All right, option 3. Let's do it.
We didn't sink
All right.
any of the other ones yesterday, we might as well today.
So are you guys going to wait until nightfall and then cloak in and then open with the high explosive? What's the order of operations here?
Yes, that sounds
Yes.
exactly like what we're gonna do.
And
Wait for
I'm
nightfall.
going to do some prep work while we wait. I'm going to do rituals sort of around the banister of the ship to make it less noticeable, sort of like what I've done in the past on myself, but on a bit of a bigger scale, so I'm really taking the time to prep.
Roll odds or evens.
Odds. It's spinning, it's spinning, it's spinning, it's a 2. God damn it, even.
There's already something on these banisters. There's a ritual that you've already cast. And
Yeah.
you can't find a way to make this simulcast. It's already repelling borders.
Oh, yeah, no, I'd be replacing the ritual of the banister repelling. Because I'm not expecting us to be boarded on this one.
All right,
Ritual of banister repelling.
Yeah.
you begrudgingly go into a pouch. You just kind of go, bah! And throw a bunch of salt over the side of the ship. And then cast a new ritual up.
So while you're doing that, would you have God, what's Warbles? Would you have Warbles with you?
Yeah. He's my guide.
Damn it. I guess he is, ain't he?
You're not fucking touching Warbles.
I'm not touching.
Like,
no, I'm just seeing if he wants to come
Of
over
anyone
and
that would be
Otto.
like, that would come up and be like, hey Crocwell, do you mind if I just borrow Warbles for a second? Sun is the one that Crocwell will go, no fucking way.
Listen, I'm not asking. I'm seeing if Warble, as his own creature, his own sort of sentient entity, wants to come hang out with me and Otto, and I want to teach him about sort of different words. See how
I'm
much
feeding him, so no. Like, I'm feeding him as I do
Okay.
this ritual, so no.
I imagine this conversation going down. Sun goes up to Crocwell like, hey, can I borrow Warbles for a moment? And Crocwell's like, no.
And then
Sun's
takes
like,
out like a handful of food that she keeps in her pocket, just so that like Sun can't be like shiny objects. It's just like, no, I have fucking food. I
Magic
know you'll
Sun.
fucking stay here for food.
imagine Sun's made like a little gun harness.
I need a pistol for your crow. So you guys make some last minute preparations and then you start waiting.
The idea of Sun as the bad uncle that like has
Yeah,
rotten
that's
human eyeballs in his
100%.
pocket.
Like, you're the uncle that would give him his first drink of alcohol when he's like 10. Like, that's the
Yeah,
uncle that Crowquill sees you as.
I've got some rotten eyeballs.
No Warbles, you can't go up with Uncle Sun and his kid Otto. And Otto's like, let's go shoot things.
So you make the last of your preparations and then you just start waiting until nightfall. You go through the dinner hour, you quietly eat on the ship. The sun sinks, the moon faintly rises a little sliver, and then you're ready to get to work. Want to give me a roll, Crowquill?
21.
Alright. You're feeling out. You're feeling the rocks and the crags. You get the little quiet, slight left, slight right. You see the lights of the ship in the distance, slight left. You go behind another crag and you don't see your ships either. Slight right. Was the order of operations for you to signal them to throw an explosive, or for them to throw an explosive to follow your salvo?
They were going to throw an explosive, and we were going to use that as our cue to book it past them, basically.
Oh, we're booking. I thought we were gonna.
We're
Wait,
salvo.
you're not running the rocks.
Yeah,
You're
we're
not running the rocks.
rocks.
What am I? Right.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case,
We're just going straight up and salvoing on our way through.
Yeah.
you're in like sailing formation. The two gunships ready to flank, and the like both you and the bone marrow. Like the bone marrow a little behind, kind of aft, the way that you might have like a Canada Geese V. You're waiting quietly. You all wink off your lights. You don't need to really be steering too carefully. You can see a boat, you see the moon, and you know it's open sea. You get closer and closer, and then just at the right time, you give them a note. As they strike the match, you can see the people on the ships starting to run for their cannons, but then this thing hurtles through the air, and it engulfs half the ship in flames. There's people running to put things out, and as you're getting close and the other ship starts to follow, you can see someone furious looking, a big looking like pirate dude who runs up and crams a cannonball at the cannon and starts aiming it dead at the ship. He runs into fire.
Oh god.
Who is where on the bow? Or sorry, on the deck of the ship, I should say.
I am in my usual position by the mast.
I am right beside Otto, and I believe Otto is up sort of on the poop deck, sort of getting a clear view.
I would be. There is kind of like
there's
guard.
Yeah, there's like a guard / like they're actually meant to be like something you can duck behind for firearms.
Yeah, that's exactly where I would be.
All right, so there's a smattering of grape shot that goes into the side of the boat. Some of it hits that guardrail. Otto quickly goes, whoop, pivots a little shield, and it clangs it so the grape shot doesn't hit Sun. There is a bunch of little shreds of shrapnel that go and deal 15 damage to Croquill, as well as Rooker, who's above deck. You can hear him curse. Tiana was sort of like below the guardrail as well. She kind of gets up and goes to make sure people are all right. You've made your way past this boat. It's still up, but it's not really in any condition to fight back. As you're getting further away, though, you can see this other ship start to close in. It assesses the threat. You see it throw up a flare, and the other ship in the distance starts to follow.
All right.
Boys,
so we want to grape shot their mast, don't we, so that they can't follow us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the range is a little far for Otto, but Otto, as soon as you think you can hit.
The way things are right now, you guys have made your way past the blockade. One ship is disabled, it's in flames. Another one is further away and closing in, but you have enough headway that it's going to be behind you. If you just keep going this way, they can't fire forward, really. So you would just kind of be followed all the way to Riverbend.
Well, we don't necessarily want that.
Yeah.
What we could do is sail on for a little bit and then sort of have it get separated from its friends and then pivot and take out its sails that way. Or we could just take it out now.
If they're trying to follow us, I'll just have Otto spin around and take pot shots at their sails until they're disabled.
That would be in the direction of your helm if they're behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're on the poop deck? If I spin around.
We should we also have 2 gunships with us. We should use our allies.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we keep going and they are following us behind, that poor ship is now surrounded.
You and the Bone Marrow are also more maneuverable.
Yeah.
So while these ones wouldn't be able to do this stuff, you could probably lag behind and then skirmish to get one of them off your tail.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking that we do. We lag behind. We let the main ship sort of get a little bit ahead of us, and then we just sort of take out one of their masts, and that way we only have one ship to deal with in the open ocean.
All right, sounds good.
All right. It's a little bit behind you guys. You wink out your lights, and you just kind of loosen up your sails. You lag behind and lose enough speed, you just bleed it off that you can open them up a little bit once the ship starts to see you coming and turn on the lights. You guys are able to make a hard turn and shoot it right in the front, or you can make a larger turn and try to mislead it and bait it a little bit further from the other ships.
The ships so they can also shoot at it?
Sorry?
Mislead and bait.
All right. So you turn it away. You don't manage to get a shot quite yet, but you're baiting it, and it's starting to try and see if you can get a shot on you while not losing the other ships. As you do that, you veer it further away, and the other ship that's using it as a guide is veering further away from your ships as well. You still got it on your tail, though.
Are we firing a salvo at it, or can we fire it?
If you're misleading it, you can't get the opening.
Okay.
You can basically take the moment to go, you found my trap card, and turn faster than they can, and then fire a shot at them. But
yeah, I think
we want to lead them away far enough.
That's true. All right.
Right.
I'm prepping a boon on Ken and Ye then for when we decide to activate our trap card.
All right. Are you guys going to keep misleading them a little further?
I don't. Allies.
Yeah, I want to be to the position where our ally, here's my thoughts. Mm-hmm. If we have to abandon ship and book it to the nearest port, I want them to be far enough away that our allies, they won't just turn and follow our allies, you know? That's our whole job. So I'm thinking like just as our allies get sort of over the horizon, that's when we turn around. Jason.
All right, so you kind of like, you don't mislead them, you don't turn around to face them, you kind of like keep them going back and forth so they bleed some speed, and your host ships get a bit further ahead. As they're starting to fade, you get an opening and you're able to turn back in for the salvo. At this point, they suspect that it's coming though, so they're ready to retaliate. Who's rolling first for what? You've pivoted around, so Otto would get the first shot, as well as anybody who's just holding a firearm or a bow or anything like that.
I would like to, before we start turning,
and that's about it.
Before we start turning, can I try to shoot the person driving the ship? Or like steering the... Okay, I'm going to shoot that guy.
The helmsman.
The helmsman.
Want to give me another roll for that, then?
I always envision this as like this poor guy in the helmsman is watching Jane aim like a couple meters too high, and he's like, man, this fucking idiot. And then right as the bolt's about to hit him, there's a big wave that sort of reaches underneath the boat and just whoop. That's it. Like,
it's about the motion of the ocean.
Exactly.
The ocean. Okay, 142 for that shot.
You fire off a shot and it gets the guy right in the chest and he falls to the ground. Someone else goes and like tries to steer the ship, but just in enough time that you get the jump on them for your shots. Everyone else gets to attack before that ship's going to fire its cannons. Who's first?
All right. So I am taking manual control of Otto, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And
Otto still has power for the rest of this adventure, basically.
Oh, okay. Then Otto, go! And I don't know why son talks like that. Let me do the math here.
It's baby. It's how son does baby talk.
So, Ken, if you're going to spend a lot of the fight booning Ken and Ye, do you want to like at least do the dice when he's just firing the cannon? So at least you're not just like, and I use my action, and I use my action.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine just being and I use my action on this one.
Oh, okay. In that case, that would be another. The apparatus is ready, and it quick fires a salvo, like tunk, 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 of a bunch of grape shot into their masts. Otto follows the same thing. While these ones are going foom, foom, and doing big holes, you can actually see him, like, Otto does a little chuckle, like, and then he points one direction and goes, tunk, 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 and basically, like, cuts a hole along their masts.
Good work, boy.
What did you roll, by the way, for Otto?
I rolled a 28 times 2.
All right, so that would
So
be
56.
Did you just choke on that candy?
Maybe I choked on the Bigfoot.
All right. Meanwhile, auto aims. You're basically just picking targets. You can still use your action to like use your shotgun.
This is my shotgun.
We got Jane. We got Jane carefully taking aim. Just as the boat gets lifted by a wave, takes a shot, and then you got Cannoneer Sun being like, maybe this'll hit.
Yeah, straight up. I'm hoping for a crit, you know. That is a 28 for a shotgun.
All right, so you cock a shot, you fire. There's someone at one of the cannons who goes like, and clearly gets like a rogue bit of some buckshot, but starts aiming it closer towards your end of the ship in retaliation.
Ooh, I'm gonna duck.
One of the other cannoneers, you can see like Bilgy go fire, and then Tiana takes Kennedy's rifle and finishes that cannoneer off, but there's still 3 remaining. As the last of the like shot goes off from all the cannons, you can see that like the shredded sails are already really struggling, and then especially with the one weak point that Otto's kind of chopped, they start turning as someone takes the helm and yanks, and one of the sails genuinely just rips open and starts fluttering in like a big kind of wave.
We gotta get out of here now.
Good stuff.
Yep, I'm gonna hex their helmsman and as we leave.
All right. Before you're able to jump onto the other stuff, there's still some blows you're going to get in response. There's 3 grape shot cannons that go towards the deck itself to try to take you out. The first one is what would that be? A 28 damage. Does anybody have any other, like, shelter they're behind or anything like that?
I'm behind the thing.
I'm using Otto's like shields as much as
After the
possible.
first shot, I might have moved to being behind one of the cover guards.
All right, you quickly duck down. Everyone else gets nice and low and braces for it as you continue sailing on. You can feel the ship kind of drift a little bit as whoever's in the helm is kind of like wobbling. But as the last of that shot shreds the deck, everyone gets up more or less okay. The ship itself is covered in aesthetic damage, but nothing really major. The next shot goes off, another grape shot, this time another shot at the deck, but while you're still down there, yeah, nothing to shake a stick at, but still, because you're below your guardrail, you managed to soak some more of the hit. Now the ship's looking really ugly. The last bit of grape shot goes for the sails. Okay. The sails are now officially damaged by a certain amount.
Okay.
You are still able to sail, and you're still able to, get about your business, but you are going to be able to make aesthetic repairs and sail repairs the next time you go to port.
Ooh,
Until then,
okay.
those are damaged.
Okay.
This ship seems to be distracted enough with the hex that they aren't able to catch up to you. The distant ship, seeing them go down, starts moving away from the group of ships to try and help its other ship. You're able to catch up to your host ships again and get back on the road.
Okay. That could have ended poorly.
All
Aesthetic
right.
damage.
So, if you want to pull the map up again, you have escaped the blockade, and you can see the hookway just a little bit further ahead. Map.
Map.
So it is the early night. You spent a lot of time, beforehand, getting a lot of rest, so nobody's really tired. You can all get up and keep sailing.
Cool.
The rain is actually starting to clear up a little bit. You can see that there's still waves of cloud that are coming and going now that you've left the bay, but it's clear for the most part right now. You can see, you measure your map, you measure the distance you've passed, you've made it about 2.5 squares northward from here. I will say Riverbend is 2 squares past the northeast corner of the map in the northeast direction.
Okay.
So that's going to be your destination.
I see.
It is the late night. What are you guys up to?
Sun's halfway down to the workshop, and then he's like, "Oh wait."
Yeah. Wait a second. I don't have any supplies or money. Well, we're gonna need to pull into a dock to fix a lot of this stuff, and I can fix guns. No seamsters.
Well, I took some damage in the last fight, so I'm tending to warbles. I'm actually
Warbles.
still in ready, so I'm checking them. I'm okay, spread wings, you good? How's your claws? Yep, good.
Warbles is superficially fine, but having a whole bird of a time. If you guys aren't sailing any further, then you lay anchor for the night. Here in the hookway, nobody really comes to bother you. You can definitely see that there's some Imperial ships that have come and gone, but they don't really go into the thick to stop anyone. Do you guys go back to your early morning shifts, or this close to the end, or are you all just going to wake up together?
Together, baby.
Yeah, might as well. We're in the last
Alright.
like little stretch.
Together.
All right.
Dude,
We won't need to use the maps. I know how far you need to go, so I'll just do progress to destination. It is the early morning. You woke up a little later than usual because your schedule is still out of whack, but you're able to head back out and start working on the ship. It's initially slow going, and the rain starts to get to like pattering again. It doesn't stop you or your host ships though. Through to the late morning, you really start to slow down. It starts to clear up again, but with that like ebb and getting away from the predominant winds, there's kind of a dead zone, so you end up just really chugging. Around noon, you get past the edge of where all these winds start to bluster, and the wind starts pulling northeasterly around the hook. This is enough to really rocket you along, and near the later half of lunch, you pull into Riverbend.
Hell yeah.
Ship.
So much like the other ship, this is a city that's, much like Dagger Bay, this is a city that's bigger than its britches, but in a very different way. Here you can see that this is a city that grew naturally bit by bit and just lost a lot of people who haven't quite yet come to re-inhabit their old homes. It's more like a big, oversized ghost town. Still, though, you can see that ghost town is a word that's becoming less and less relevant as the streets are still pretty busy. There's a lot of open piers, and there's a lot of like sections of the town that you don't see people in the streets, but where people are there, you can see there's markets, things being bought and sold. You're at the actual rookery station where they take some time to like offload the last of the codes, and the rooker goes up and gives you a nod. I have to say, that was commendable. Absolutely commendable.
Well, you know, we strive for commendability. You know.
Well, I'll go and get the paperwork done, but the next time you're at a rookery, you just need to ask, and you've got your robes. They're probably not going to ask you to turn in for an extra couple weeks. Yeah, consider it vacation before they get on your ass to start taking contracts again, but if you want to, you can get out of the office and pick a new destination right off the bat.
Yeah, we get
We get robes.
Oh, man. This week gets better and better.
First I was shooting some dudes, and then I was shooting some dudes.
In this marketplace, would I be able to buy powder and lead?
Yes.
Thank God. Okay, I'm just saying I'm going out and
We can.
that.
I don't know. Do we want to sell the sugar here, or do we want to head north with it to sell it somewhere else?
Few weeks off. They can spend a couple days going north for some extra gold.
Which way north? Back to your familiar seas or around the far side of the mainland?
I say far side.
Let's go somewhere exciting, far side of the mainland.
All right, in that case, that's where I'm going to leave us. The lengthy highway haul that we started before the holidays has finally come to an end as you've delivered the last of the codes. Hopefully there shouldn't be any other security problems with the rookeries. You are going on to fresh new seas away from any problems or robberies that you may have, taken part in. There's no witnesses, baby. We're all good.
I never robbed anything.
Never. Can't prove it. You didn't even keep the loot. You sold it all. You're fine.
I don't
Well,
have any.
Well,
We do have some spices.
we do have some spices.
Some spices.
You know, but like, there's no serial numbers on them.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Like, pick up each one and go, oh, yes, I can see by the stamp here, the authenticity stamp.
Yeah.
I would never put it past you, Will.
So, yeah, we are here at twitch.tv/Cronin Live. I think there's any reason for us to change our schedule. We'll let you know if we do, but otherwise, I believe we're still coming the later half of 7 on Wednesdays. If you want to check us out on YouTube, is it still youtube.com/Mr.
Still
Cronin?
youtube.com/Mr. Cronin.
All right, URL mismatch. It's very spicy. And if you want to check out the rules to the game, they're at bloodwine.fandom.com. Anything coming up to plug?
I'm going to be playing something tomorrow. I haven't decided what. I'm either playing RimWorld or something random.
That's a something.
Return of the Obra Dinn.
Lethal League?
Return of the... Of all the game recommendations, I was not expecting Return of the Obra Dinn.
I just wanted to play that game with somebody ever since quarantine started, and
I played it like 2 years ago. Love it. It's a great game. I want to play it again. Gabe can't look at it.
I physically can't. The fun rendering thing they did is groundbreaking, and it's wonderful, and it's beautiful, and I love it, except it's exactly calibrated to make my eyes want to kill me.
Yeah.
So...
It is almost like textbook bad for Gabe eyes.
Yeah, you could not design a worse method, especially when the whole game is about carefully observing and looking at things for a long period.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Yeah, you could not devise a worse way to render a game.
Yeah, but it is beautiful.
It is beautiful.
If you want horrible visuals, I think me and Ken were still thinking about at some point doing a stream where we look through like the old Mr. A comics, Steve Ditko's most cursed creation.
Yeah, that's still a thing that could potentially happen in the future.
Potentially. We're gauging interest.
Yeah. Probably not Obra Dinn, but that's not this week, but maybe.
Did we lose Fable? Is that dead, or do we have
Fable's
the saves?
not dead. We have the saves. Everything
So you
should
can do
still
that
be
on
good
Saturday.
for Fable. So we still got that. So something tomorrow, Fable Saturday, and yeah, that should be good.
We're back. We're back.
It's all good.
It's all good. You have a wonderful night.
Good night, everybody.